We all love an impressive performance on the field. And now, thanks to our latest sponsor, Pilot, you can have an impressive performance in the bedroom too. Pilot provides Aussie men with the clinical tools to treat bedroom issues like erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. Not a fan of the doctor's office? Pilot is all online, so you can sort it out right now over the phone. And with free delivery Australia-wide, you can be back on your game in no time. Head to pilot.com.au today and get started. Play hard until the final whistle with Pilot. Aces, I know I always talk about the RIXXs, but I got to offer you the discount again. In case you've forgotten or in case you're sleeping under a rock, we have a special discount code for everyone that listens to this podcast or watch the podcast. It's ACES. Head online to RIXXeyewear.com.au and use the discount code ACES and you'll get 20% off. That's right, 20% off, 1/5 at checkout and free express shipping. So head online, RIXXeyewear.com.au and check it out. All right, do we have a big show for you today? Let's get stuck into it. Welcome back to Only Sport, episode 3. Do we have a big lineup today? I'm spitting all over the joint here, boys. That's how excited I am. I've got 2 guests in the building. First time we've had 2 guests for Only Sport, episode 3. We've already had Job and Hayden Crozier last week on fire with his Antonio Brown story. We have Griffin, Logue and Jaidyn Stephenson in the house from North Melbourne, a big Saints man with Chris Olave over there. And we got Logie Bear coming out of rehab. What do you got there, Logie Bear? You got the jeans and joggers.
It's the Chunners, mate. Can't beat it. Got the new, I don't know, got them from London. Pair of jeans.
Jeez, how dull is that? Any energy? What's going on? Far out. You come in the studio. You sound like you're going to fall asleep, son. Hey, how are we, boys?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah, going well.
Pleasure to be here, Train.
It's great to have you
Actually,
here.
we're known as Kamara Sutra, so get it right. It ties in well. So
It does. The boys love their NFL fantasy. We'll get to that soon. Now, obviously, with our Only Sport concept, it's all about you guys as athletes and you as fans. We'll start with as athletes, a little bit more serious. But what drew you to sport? What when it all started? What drew you to it?
I think it's probably just family. My grandparents were big sportsmen. My mum, my dad, they both loved it. So from an early age, I was hanging around the local footy club and cricket club of a Thursday night. We'd go watch Dad. Dad played into his 40s, both footy and cricket. So was always down there and enjoyed watching. And I think that's probably started growing my passion. I gave every sport a try: footy, cricket, tennis, swimming, got a black belt in karate. So did a little bit of everything, yeah.
The Karate Kid, have you used it on anyone, like mucking around?
Nah, it's all about self-defense. So you don't use it on people, you defend yourself.
Have you had to use it though?
Nah, I haven't. No.
That's awesome.
couldn't fight out of a wet paper bag, could you?
Well, I know I couldn't.
Black belt in karate. Come on now.
So black belt's pretty impressive.
You played cricket this other day as well, didn't you? You got to
Yeah, I always play 1 or 2 games with Fentry Gully
really?
in the off-season. So
play cricket, miss trainer Monday.
That's elite. How'd you go?
not too bad. Bowled one over. It was a maiden. Then chucked the gloves on and wicket kept and batted at 4, came in at 2 for 5 and made 36 or something off 25 balls.
That's elite.
Your wicket keeping were a bit of the Brad Haddon getting a run. Sitting there.
Bradley Haddon.
Leave the jokes to Train. That's shocking.
Fry one out with the Brad Haddon.
Griffy loves his Bradley Haddon. Did you play cricket growing up?
Nah.
You weren't a ball sport man. You're more just a big
basketball.
Basketball. What position did you play?
Mr. Fix It 3 and D. Just whatever you wanted.
Did you have the hops like back in the day as well?
Yeah. I can still jam it and stuff now, but just wouldn't. Nah, I'm glad I chose against it. It was a fun sport. It was a very good sport to play.
Hey, what other sports did you do? We all know you're a big rower.
Yeah, good sporting pedigree in my family, like good athletes.
Hey, tell everyone about your background, actually. Get into it. People listening don't know this stuff, Griff, so really get into the detail.
Grandma it's her birthday today, actually. Already given her a call.
This will be out in 4 weeks.
That's all right. So she went to the Commonwealth Games for long jump. She's a gun. She's pretty good. She came 4th there.
Off the long run.
She's good. Her husband, known as Dida to me, he's a big Croatian fella, like 6'5", full of muscle. He was the state discus champion for 20 years.
Is he your grandpa or not?
Yeah, granddad.
Yeah.
Passed
What do you
away.
call him?
Dida.
Dida.
Yeah.
That's Croatian.
Croatian, yeah. So they had kids. My mum was a state basketball and 400-metre runner. Her older sister, Dana, was the state hurdler. Younger sister, Helen, was a basketballer as well. And then the eldest brother was the Blahov basketballer, a couple of Olympics and captain the Wildcats.
Peter?
Andrew.
Close.
Peter Vlahos, I think, is a news,
I love how you got to get into the detail here, man. I know.
But yeah,
I know.
so he's skipper the Wildcats and did a few 4 Olympics or something. So
big name. Great
Oh,
one for
right.
your pedigree. When Griff was coming through the ranks, it got him in first round. I'm telling you. They said, oh, he's out of the...
They saw the pedigree, saw me blow up the draft combine, and then bang, whammy.
this guy will be anything. He'll be anything.
Then Dad was a good athlete as well. He's a rower. So
The old boy was rowing down in Melbourne not long
just
ago.
recently, just recently had the mixed masters. They had got a few like past Olympians that joined their crew and stuff. It's pretty full on. Like he has a fair crack.
I run past there and it's like it is full on. There's a lot going on. Was there like some kind of competition going on at the moment?
Big regatta there that day.
And people that ride the bikes, what's your thought? Like, so people ride the bikes and they're on the microphones.
Generally for those bikes, like you go up and it's a 2K race, so it's just a straight. So you can actually coach from the side or like spur them on with whether it's race day, you can rev them up. Or
but what are they doing? Like, because I actually have never been around the sport. Are they just coaching?
Coaches, just spectators. It's a good way to watch.
Yeah.
If you're cycling along, yeah.
When you were growing up, if AFL wasn't here, boys, what was the sport that do you think there was another sport that you may have been able to make it at if you put your mind to it or nearly at?
Probably not. Nah. Was all right at cricket. It was all right at everything I sort of tried, but table tennis probably my next best thing. Still undefeated in table tennis.
Really?
So anyone out there that reckons they can challenge us, let us know.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a keen golfer though. You take golf now if you wish.
Yeah, I'm no good. I enjoy it, but
You're pretty good at everything, aren't
You
you?
wish you started golf younger then or something?
Oh, sport-wise, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Not too bad.
Do you wish you started golf younger now that you love it so much? If you had to started it back then, you'd probably be a gun at it.
Yeah, certainly. When I have a kid, I think I'll be getting him out on the course, might even buy a property on Heritage Golf Course, and in his spare time he can go out there at 1, 2 and hit the balls down the fairway.
Yeah.
Nice. Walk him straight to the par 3, the old boy with a bucket of beers in his hands, and away we go. If sport wasn't around, what else do you think you'd be doing, boys?
Jeez.
Clearly, life after football has to be coming through your minds, even when you're 20, whether you're 24.
Still studying part-time, so I reckon I would have really hooked into that and like physiotherapy, like that. I've had plenty of injuries now, so something that I like, fairly passionate about and have enough knowledge about, but nah, I don't know. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity and position I'm in, that's for sure. It's I was just whinging about how long a day I had to you before, but then you get a couple of reality check after a few whiles and it's a good job. It's the best bloody job in the world.
Yeah, it is a good job, especially with the money you're getting paid.
To not play.
To do bench press. All right, how you looking? Your skin folds are blown out, you told me?
Skinnies are up, but as strong as an ox at the moment. So
that's outrageous that he's got 72 skin. Was it 70? No, 60. 60 skin folds. I used to have that and I was sloppy. This bloke's a machine, so must be really indulging over there in rehab.
It's a bit higher through the start of the year than Christmas because then you come back after the Christmas break and go, geez, you dropped 10 skinnies. So
yeah, it's smart. And also you can't do much cardio when you're not running as you will be soon.
No, you can do plenty, mate. Plenty.
I was just trying to back you up. Steve-O, when you think back to when you're a kid and there's a lot of people listening that will have kids or they're young, the athletes that want to be following in both your footsteps to play AFL one day, what are some of the sacrifices you made that still stand out today that you remember making a smart decision or things you always dealt with to kind of get to where you are?
Yeah, I actually made quite a lot of sacrifices looking back. I was fortunate enough to have a girlfriend throughout my later years of high school, which really helped me not want to go to the parties. Or I'd always go to the parties. Like my mates would have their 18ths and I would get there at 7:30 when it started and leave at 9:30 and not drink or any of that sort of stuff. So I made a lot of those little sacrifices, which in the long run have paid off because all my mates that were having a good time and drinking and all that sort of stuff, I can now do it now on a bigger budget. So it's worked out perfect.
It's exactly right. It's well said, on a bigger budget. Yeah. It's spot on though. Like you can get all that stuff later on in life. And you can burn the candle. Let's not hide behind the fact that people at 16 and 17 are misbehaving and carrying on a little bit and indulging at these house parties. And if you're trying to be an AFL player like you guys are, like you do have to go home or you do have to, sacrifice in doing what your mates are doing.
I think certainly with AFL too, because there's a lot of other sports where you can make it at 19, 20, 21. But reality is, as an AFL player, you make it at 18. Like you get drafted at 18 out of the TAC Cup or your waffle sample, whatever it may be. There's always a few mature ages that get picked up, but most of the time it's 18. So you I mean, you can have some good fun between 16 and 18, but you can have a lot more fun between 20 and 25. So
it's not the be-all, end-all at 18. Like, there's plenty of good stories. Matt Prittis, mate, 3 drafts, Brownlow medalist. You know, you got to understand.
But Prittis would have been doing everything right, Griff.
Yeah, for someone like Prittis, he was the one that was every day, even after his Brownlow, was still back at the club doing extras. But I know what you're saying. But
what about you, Griff? You didn't make many, did you?
Sacrifices? Nah, plenty. Yeah. For in a pretty sporting family, like, you learn from a young age standards, training standards, discipline, all the lines of that. I mean, majority of it I would have learned from my older brother, to be honest. Probably when we're talking about what got you into sport, he said family, like the family, just constant competition with the older brother. He teaches you a lot of things, and sacrifices, as you said, like you can't really afford to be going out and getting blind if you've got training on like a Friday or a Saturday. It's just too hard to. It's pretty hard to front up to training on you when you're a bit hungover. So especially when you're young, you just don't even bother doing that. But it's more than that drinking. It's just your general lifestyle choices, and I just think diet from a young age. I always looked at that and staying.
What
in
else
shape.
though? Let's get into that's all the specifics. What training? I know your story really well, but like give people out there like an insight. Like you do extras to get to where you are. You don't just go along with the motions and the program that's set. Like what extras were you doing that will help someone out there?
Well, you learn where your weaknesses and strengths are. You get told them from a early enough age, once you're in through many talent pathways, whatever it is whatever approach it is that you're going to your sport, whatever sport that may be, and then you go back and you look at that. So for me, early on, it was flexibility, which is you wouldn't think of that as one, but I'd just be stretching every day, every morning, trying to get the most flexible hammies in the game, and they didn't pan out too well because I kept doing them early in my career. But made of iron now, but hopefully I don't do them again. Touch wood. But
my biggest advice would be just enjoy playing sport. Like
I
know that I would sit at school knowing that I had footy training that night, and you didn't even have to do that extra stuff. But because I was enjoying every minute I was at training, so then I was putting in more effort at training. I enjoyed playing games, all that sort of stuff. I think that really went a long way. Like it was my highlight of my week, those 3 nights, the 2 nights of training and the 1 game day. Best time of the week when I was a kid.
Nothing better, was it? You get there early, you're asked to leave, the old man's trying to drag you out, you have a couple more snaps. It's great.
Even with that, like you can, from a young age, like 10 or 12, I didn't ever want to be an AFL player. Like I wanted to just try every sport. Boss, when I owe all that to mum and dad. Like they were, aside from cricket, they let me play every sport in the world. Dad has said, not happening.
No cricket. You know what? I don't blame them.
Mate, I got that much to do at the house. I'm not sitting out once you play cricket. He never missed a game of footy, and he would support me in anything I do. But cricket, he gets no happening champ. So,
cricket is a big one.
I try like every sport and not put all my eggs in one basket. And you don't have to have it all decided by them. But once you find something, like you said, you enjoy and you're passionate about, just stick to it, and it should work out if you really want to make it work.
It's good. Let's stick on the career that you both have, been on so far, being AFL footballers. What's been the most challenging moment you've had individually, and how have you overcome it? And break it down. I don't want to.
I'm probably going through mine right now.
Yep.
I'd have to say, hurting the knee pretty badly, doing an ACL and going through a Rico with that. It's been one of the most challenging parts of my life. Pretty grateful that and lucky that I haven't had to be through too many hardships through life, and this is probably the biggest one. It's challenging mentally to preparing to kind of potentially not play, and yet I'm for the whole year, and then coming in every day and training each day, and even post surgery. And before the off season started, I was kind of started my training regime, and it's a lot heavier than what I'd been doing, like in terms of gym work and plenty of swimming, and all, even though my skinnies keep blowing out, swimming's meant to be the best thing for it. So whoever made that study's an idiot, but that's probably the most challenging thing for myself. Yeah, going through this kind of big period in rehab. I've spent a bit of time in rehab, but it's just different when you know what it is, and it's a 12-month injury, and everything's tracking well at the moment, but it's just going to battle up and down so far of just kind of getting excited to train, or just going, here we go again, more drilling.
So what are the challenges that you've gone through? What have you learned about yourself? And I appreciate you sharing them, because we just had Will Ashcroft on, and he said the same thing. He's got a great outlook on life, and he's just going to come back bigger and better, and he understands what he has to do. But he said it was a real challenge the first 4 to 6 weeks, the fact that he couldn't even walk, and just want to go for a run. All that stuff's taken away from you.
That's the thing. Like, obviously, you put it into perspective. It could happen at a lot worse time. Like if it happened the time I did it last year when I was out of contract, and that would have created a whole nother, thrown another spanner in the works. But I think just the monotony of coming in and doing the same shit over and over again, where you've got your program set out and it's the same stuff that you've been doing for the last 4 weeks. You just look at it and go, like you're going around in circles.
Here we go
you just
again.
feel like, and you're like, then they say, oh yeah, a bit swollen here. So you just kind of like, you look like you're getting better, then you just drop it, and then you kind of plateau, and then have a good day where you hit a few KPIs. But then, yeah, essentially it's just that rebelling against doing just the same stuff the whole time.
So how are you overcoming it? Like, what kind of trigger you got? Who are you speaking to?
Setting little goals.
Goals.
Like, yeah.
Goal setting.
So not to the point where I'm put a date in the calendar and said I'm going to be back this day, because shit happens and I know what it's like with injuries, but just so cliche, but just one little goal at a time, one little tick off. So I've got all these markers and stuff that they've put in my program, whether it's a strength marker, or endurance marker, or something like hitting a certain speed, etc. So they're the things you just get excited for. And like Will would have said, you just never take it for granted again. Like running, first run back, it's just like, it was, remember the first couple runs back when you actually start getting a bit of pace up. It's just, you know what it's like. You're a good runner. Like, you love running around the track in your spare time. Trying to hit 10:05.
No, I know.
Trying to hit 10:05 in the 3K. So
I will do that. I could do that. I did a little run yesterday. No, but thank you for sharing that, because it is important. And mate, there's a lot of people out there that've gone through not only just ACLs but other injuries. And 12 months out of your life of doing your professional job, it's not an easy thing. And that's why we do joke, because we're good mates. But it's great that you shared that. What about you, Steve-O? What's been your biggest challenge that you've had, and how have you overcome it?
Yeah, I was actually having to think about that while Griff was talking, and probably getting traded was my biggest challenge I've had to overcome. That feeling of everything's going pretty well. Like, I was 3 years in the AFL system, had a few good years, one down year that year, and to get the phone call from my manager saying they want to trade you, it's pretty heartbreaking. And like we touched on before, I played all these sports, tennis, cricket, whatever it may be, footy, and you've always been the first picked or the one that everyone wants on their team, and to then go from that to someone saying, well, we don't want you on our team, it's a bit of a kick in the guts, and something I struggled to deal with, just to get my head around, I suppose. But on reflection, I can see why they made the decision that they did. I understand that the AFL is a business, and it was a financial decision for them in the end. And one, if I was the CEO or the president of Collingwood, I probably would have made the same decision.
Yeah. And how have you overcome that? How have you kind of accepted it and now flourished at North?
Yeah, I think probably entering North was what helped me overcome it, because I realised I was in such an amazing place around great people, from staff to administrators to my teammates. They're all great people, and it's a really friendly workplace to walk into every day. So that certainly made it a lot easier, and a lot easier for me to overcome. Yeah.
Well said. And it's almost like rejection. I know exactly how you feel when you get delisted and you think, oh, I'm only 25 or 26. It's meant to be in my prime, and you feel somewhat different to what you've always felt. Especially when you do come through as juniors, you're spot on. Like, when you're a kid, you rarely don't get picked, or especially in your field. So when you do get to that elite level, you're no longer the guy. You're kind of playing a role. It's completely a big shift, isn't it? I was talking to someone the other day. When's the last time you won a trophy? You would have won NAB?
Yeah, probably the Rising Star.
NAB Rising Star. And how many years ago was that?
Oh, I won Peter Scanlon Community Award actually this year for
that's great. That's
charity
awesome.
work off the field.
That's well done. That's
that was my
awesome.
last trophy.
That's big. I love Griff's been big on this as well when we're at Freo. The community stuff is something you'll be proud about later in life. When you reflect, it's obviously you want all the the team accolades and win a flag, but the community awards they mean a lot. And I don't know, you know that you're doing them anyway. You don't do them for the awards, but that's awesome. Well done. What about you, Griff? When's the last time you won an individual? Like, it's not.
No, the year 12 one in the.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry, when I won a flag with you, mate.
Waffle. Yeah. There you go.
Waffle flag.
That's team success.
That was great as well. Jeez, that was good fun.
That was good fun. But that's the same,
because you grow up and it's like, there's probably 6, 7, 8 trophies you're getting every year.
Yeah, I know. You're like, another one. Like, you're just throwing them out the back. Then you get to 18.
Stacking up the first ribbons and all the athletic carnivals and stuff.
It becomes toilet paper. You don't need them. You got that many of them. I'm only staring right here on Only Sport. No, but you do. You win so much when you're like 16, 17. You get to, I don't think I've had anything since. I'm 30. Speaking of rejection, what about, let's flip it. What's one of the most memorable moments you've had so far in your careers?
For mine, it's pretty easy playing in the AFL Grand Final. To come in my first year and have the year that we did and make it to the granny was unbelievable. And a lot of people would say playing that day was the most amazing, but I really loved the grand final parade. Like the whole sitting in the back of the utes and they're just waving to the crowd. You honestly had a sore jaw, a sore face. My hand was sore from being up the whole time, and about 10 minutes in, I'd need to go to the toilet. So my bladder was sore as well. So although everything was sore, it was the most amazing thing to just see fans aplenty just down the streets.
As amazing as it is, like, is it draining? Like, or are you just filled with energy from that? Like,
like I said, I had this much pain here, there, and everywhere. But like I said, I still look back on it now as probably the best day of my life.
Yeah.
What about you, Griff?
I'll probably.
Most memorable.
I think winning my school cup.
Yeah, right.
First time in it was.
Well,
awesome.
You put that above Peel. Jeez.
It was the first time in 57 years the school's won.
Oh, really?
Won it, yeah. And now that it was played with plenty of boys, but now that how it's unfolded, like it was with Zachy Fish at the time, so he's obviously got the trade across the north now. We've got the opportunity to do something like that again. It's just looking back, that was awesome. That whole year was it was great. For like our final game, we teed it up with a band. Like the whole school came down to watch, and we were mates with the band, and they came, like the school band, whatever it is. They came down and played Joker and the Thief. Oh, just rocking it, like, and we're running out to Joker and the Thief.
That's elite.
Full fun, like, great
college.
song. It was what it was like. The whole school's watching, just like carrying on. We played against Cam Zerha's Wesley's team. It was Cam Zerha, Pepper, Shea Bolton.
Oh, wow. Good lineup.
Mate, smashed them 10 goals. Logue kicked the first, and we.
Oh, yeah, there you go. No, that's a great memory.
That was all time. Guildford Grammar, I'll forever be grateful for Mum and Dad sending me there, and yeah. And
57 years.
And you should be grateful for us winning the bloody cup for you. So.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Well, you kicked the first there, and I think you kicked the last for the Waffle Peel Blunder.
Last ever on Subiaco. That's actually the one.
Was it the last goal ever?
Last goal ever at Subiaco Oval.
There you go. After
the siren.
No one played another game.
After the siren in a Waffle Granny. The only game played after was the Aussie rules against Ireland or something. So that wasn't AFL.
So can't classify.
I got the first ever goal at Mount Barker. Might top it. Little out in Adelaide Hills.
I'll tell you, kick the last and the next 20 after that. Joe Dare after sitting on my shoulders.
Very good, very good. Right, a couple more before we finish. But advice for young guys, following in your footsteps. You kind of touched on it earlier, but just one point. You've probably given it advice before. One main thing that you think would be good for them to listen to.
I just say
when it comes to sport in general, not just
sport
AFL.
in general, I just say there's plenty this year, these days. There's plenty of pathways that get you into all these, and everyone's getting better and better. Like there's so much upskilling that gets done at a younger age now. Whether you whatever sport you play, like there's so much opportunity and scope to get better, and there's plenty more coaches out there. You got all these body coaches to get your rig in order and stuff. But I think the main ones is to have fun, find something you love. Stick to it and get around that.
Love it, having fun. You?
I reckon you've got a different answer for parents and kids. Like I got to understand that the kid, although they do a lot of work to get to where they are, where I couldn't have done it without my family. So, like Griff said, for the kids, enjoy what you do, try everything, and then for the parents, obviously give your kids the ability to try everything. Don't knock them if they want to play cricket. That's a bad example.
The old boys in your roll jump.
Don't knock them if they want to try basketball. Don't knock them if they want to try ballet dancing.
Just and don't force them into something they don't want because you want them to have that.
Yeah, if they want to do something because they think they'll enjoy it, I think as long as you're financially able to, let them do as much as they can.
Nah, it's fantastic advice. I love asking everyone that question because everyone's got some different advice, and I love the way you split that up for parents and for kids. Brilliant. Last one on being an athlete before we get into being a fan of only sport and our halftime segment brought to you by pilot.com.au. Okay, high stakes. So how do you guys deal with the pressures of AFL football? Griff, you're playing on these guys that kick 4 goals a game that, at any stage they can average, 1 or 2. But if you're off your game, they make you look like a fool. Lance Franklin did that once, and
more than once.
And you actually played pretty well. Jokes aside,
best game of your career is kick 6.
and then so Griff's a fullback, obviously, and then you got Steve-O. You're at the other end playing forward. There's pressures to kick goals, whether your goal kicking's off, you're a dead-eye dick. But how have you guys both dealt with the pressures externally, media, the club, fans, family? How do you guys block that out and just stick to task?
I think in all successful athletes, whether it be AFL or any other sport in the world, I think there's a little part of us that are show-offs, if that makes any sense. So you don't get to where you are without wanting to perform when the right people are watching. And I always feel like when the crowd's bigger, you play better. And I think it just comes down to us. We've got a little bit of show-off in us. So the bigger the pressure, the bigger the moment, the more you want to show off and the more you have the opportunity to.
Love it. You, Griff?
Same as that. Like with that idea of it's different for like a back. You can't really show off as much. It's more that butterflies and urge that you get when you're competing and you feel like you're going to get beaten and you're like, well, first thing, you don't want to let your teammates down. You don't want to let your team down. But then at the same time, if you go on head-to-head like as a full back with a full forward, you just don't want to be standing next to them the next play when they've got the camera on you saying, look who just kicked the goal. Like you don't want that. Even though the game we play now is complimentary D, like we share the goals, etc. But I think that the competition, like that's what drives me to keep going forward. And whether it's big moment, small moment, no moment at all, like I don't want to lose it. And I want to, as you like, be the man and that's stand up and you just get the job done.
I actually listened to a podcast with Stuart Broad talking about baseball, and obviously it's gotten a lot more people into cricket. Everyone's watching England play cricket because of the way they play. It's entertaining. And he was saying how Brendan McCullum, like they never talk about winning or losing, like we should have won that game or we shouldn't have lost that game. It's all about, did we entertain? Were the people watching on the TV, were the people in the stands, were they entertained? And he goes, I can go out there knowing that he was come up to me before I go out to bat and say, Stuart, it's been a little bit boring the last hour. You're going to go in next. I want you to try hit the first ball for 4 and I want you to hit the second ball for 6. And he goes, so I go out there and all right, I hit it for 4 and 6. I go out the next ball for 10. He come off, pat in the back. You've entertained. So on your point there about stepping up, it's like at the end of the day, we are entertainers. We're there to entertain the crowds and the people, and that's how you get fans.
Bums on seats. I like it. It's a typical forward right here. That's not so entertaining down the other end, brother. I'll give you the tip, but I love the mindset as a forward. Very good. Well, guess what? That time, I think it might be halftime entertainment, Beto. Here it is, halftime entertainment with our friends at Pilot.
The trap horn.
One thing with Pilot, this is the best part. Do you boys hate going to the doctors?
Can't stand it, mate.
Yeah, not ideal.
The worst, right? They don't know stress right here. With Pilot, you get your phone, you book online, you get an appointment, and if you use the discount code ACES20, you get 20% off and shipping Australian-wide, first-time users only. And Pilot will deliver all your scripts to your door if you've got any issues. All confidential.
To your doorstep.
No lining up. Like, I've got to go to the doctors.
You just get in the car.
No need to get in the car. You can stay in your bed. You just get onto pilot.com.au and you check out. You get a little consult there with a doctor, all online. It's all confidential, and you don't even have to worry about going to the doctors. You can do it really quickly, efficiently, and they're honestly saving so many men out there, especially with those with premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction, and they like to call that PE and ED. But our friends at Pilot, and as I said, are looking after us with a discount code. Anyone else out there that
ACES 20,
wants to sort of ACES 20. This leads us to our halftime entertainment question. We want to know about the moment you've had a huge flop on the field, and a moment in time where you really let yourself down. A huge flop on the field that still stands out today, where you're like, wow.
I got one. It's not so much on the field. It's year 12 in school, and we're talking about how you're always competing, and this is the first time I wanted to win like an open athletics competition, and it was in the hurdles actually. Like just was one of those sports I went to and I was like, I can't win this, I'm not going to win this, but if I get the technique right, I can win this. So the week before the inter-school went there, and it was like, well, you go against 4 other schools, called the quadratic meet, and then you do the inter-school against the other 6, 7 schools, whatever. Blew them out of the water. I've won in flying colours the first. This is like the warm-up match. I've won by 6 lengths. It's flying. So I was like, righto. Raging hot favourite the week later into the inter-school athletics. Massive. Like, it's at Perry Lake Stadium. It's this new over in Perth. Massive stand. All the schools watching. Like everything. Everyone singing. Gun goes off. Open hurdles are off. First hurdle, bang. Second hurdle, bang. I mean, already ahead by 5 metres pretty much. I'm flying. Third hurdle, just fucking click, clock, bang. I've whacked me shin, split it open, done a somersault, front flip, rolled over everything. I hear all these schools that are watching. Ooh. Come in as a raging hot favourite, finish dead last, get up and finish, tail between my legs. Bloke who wins is the bloke I pumped the week before. Go upstairs and say, my poor old grandma, she's obviously that athletics background. She's just bawling her eyes out.
Oh, no.
Crying,
That was the
saying
final.
how bad she feels for me. I was sitting there with a big smile going, oh, whoopsie.
There you
Bit of a
go.
whoopsie, that one. So
Big Logue, you were flopping on
genuine flop. Yeah.
flopping in the final in hurdles.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a different flop.
Didn't have me showmanship on. Clearly, didn't have me showmanship. Wasn't ready to show off that day.
Was not ready to entertain. Needed a bigger performance, and that's exactly what Pilot do. They help you with your biggest performance in the bedroom. What about you, Steve-O?
He was talking about Buddy Franklin kicking 6 in him before, but there was a moment in a game 2 years ago
where rub it in.
I was actually playing the back line and I'd taken 8 or 9 kick-ins that day. It hit every target, piercing up the guts wherever.
You had 30, didn't you? How many touches you
Yeah,
had?
probably 30, but 19 kick-ins. And then one of them, it was late in the game and Buddy's standing on the mark. He's 20 metres away, whatever the rule is. And I'm not a short kick. I don't want to kick it 15, 20 metres from a kick out.
Yep.
And I've got Aidan Core and Luke McDonald who are quite passionate on field. Kick it. And like I sort of really stumbled in that moment. Like I wasn't used to taking these kick-ins. Really stumbled, so tried to kick it to him. Buddy intercepted it. I've put my hands in my head and Buddy's ran past me and just dribbled the goal through. So that's my biggest flop.
That was a big flop, actually. I think he ran past while your hand was still in your head. Was that the one?
Yeah.
There you go. That is a flop. Kicking in, missing the 45 and kicking it to the greatest of all time. It's a big flop. Well, there you go. A couple of flops from the boys, Steve-O and Logie Bear right there. And a big shout out to Pilot once again. As we said, gone soft, need some help. Well, they can help you with a solid performance. Just head to pilot.com.au and use ACES20 at checkout if you're going to get into it. Now it's time for the second half, boys. This is where we get into being a fan of Only Sport. Enough talking about yourselves. This is where we really just shine. I want to know a bit more about sport in general and where you've become fanatical. What's your favourite sport that you've fallen in love with? What's the number one sport? I'll start with you, Griff.
NFL, I think. I can't get past it. I wasn't too crash on it when I first even got drafted. I remember it being up on the screens at Freo, and I was just like, couldn't watch it, couldn't get stuck into it. Did 1 year of fantasy and then was just hooked from then on and just loved it. And in Perth, you get up at 2 a.m., 1 a.m. to watch all the red zone. Loved it. Bit harder in Perth, bit easier now. It's probably the main reason I got the trade in the end, just to get up at 5 a.m., a bit of a sleep in. It's different to the NBA where they kind of rest. You got Kawhi Leonard resting back to backs. Like, come on, son, get on the
A lot of games in the NBA.
Playing so many more games. Yeah, it's different.
Yep.
But every game's out to win. So it reminds me of us. Like you don't want to drop 4 points ever. So they always want to win. NFL or it'd have to be that or the darts. I love the darts.
The darts.
Yeah, Mike Van Gerwen.
There you go. We'll come back to that. What about you, Steve? Number one sport.
Yeah,
and
NFL
why?
as well. Like Griff said, the early mornings, it starts at 3 a.m. games at the start of the year and we're out to 5 a.m. games at the moment. But I think just the ability for clutch moments in it all the time is amazing. Like NBA, I do like watching the NBA, but I enjoy the last 2 minutes when it's close more than anything else. And I think the NFL has the opportunity to have those clutch moments throughout the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. So I think that's what really draws me to it.
If I had to say anything, it just drags on a bit long. If I'm honest,
The NFL's primetime games have been that bad. I reckon.
Well, they've been unders, so that's probably why.
Bears
that's
win
not
without a
entertaining. You're
touchdown.
talking about entertainment.
Yeah.
Get the Bears off TV.
Also, like the reviews and stuff, like between plays and throw the flag and then you wait 5 minutes into the thing. And
Well, a clean game isn't like that. If you get good teams, like if you saw Philly play the Bills recently, that's
watch
bums
that.
on seats, 60 plus points. That's why the unders, like I was saying, is boring. Entertainment. We want entertainment. We want points. Not too many points, but like enough points. That's why Dallas are good to watch. San Fran, great D, great offense. What is it about the sport though that you love the most? Like, there's one thing that you think NFL. This is my favourite thing about NFL. What is it, Steve-O?
The clutch moments.
Clutch moments.
Every time you've got third and whatever,
Yeah.
it's always clutch.
Yeah, you, Griff?
I think the actual athletes,
Yeah.
like the just power athletes, and they'll give you 100 meters sprints in 11 seconds, or they'll just give you these high flying jumps that at the weight, a lot of them carry a bit of weight as well. Like it's impressive to see how they.
There's some big boys. There's
some of those big boys as well. Like they're talking like the big 350 pounders. Like
I met one.
They get going.
I met one recently, like in college. Went to the USC, got a little tour of the facility with Crosby, Naughty, and Buku. And anyway, we went down there and they're like taking us, underneath, and it was like captain's run day before. And we were probably there about an hour before their team meeting, so the boys were starting to roll in, and one of the offensive linemen just come from the gym. I'm not joking you. His biceps were bigger. Like I've got skinny legs, but they're not like they're skinny. But his bicep was bigger than my quad, and he was about 6'3", and he was just a monster.
Yeah,
and I was like,
boys.
just good luck getting past that bloke.
Imagine him fall on top of you as well. Some of those. Like when those big linebackers come and crush those poor old quarterbacks.
Mate.
Kirk Cousins this year, he's just getting smashed, wasn't he?
I know. What's the most memorable sport you've been to live, sporting event? So a moment where you've gone to an event and you just will never forget it.
For me, I think it's a pretty easy one, actually. I was lucky enough to go to the tennis when Kokonakis and Kyrgios were playing the doubles, and that was just exploding. They had Care Arena. They were wanting to, Craig Tiley, who runs the Australian Open, he wanted to put them on Rod Laver, but they're like, nah, we want Care Arena. It's the general admission spot, and it was one of the rowdiest tennis matches I've ever seen. So that topped. It was unbelievable feeling being in the crowd, listening. They were getting around the crowd, which tennis players don't often do. So if I could live through that again, I would.
Entertainment. That's all we want, isn't it?
Touched on the darts before. In terms of live sport, I went to the darts when it came to Perth when I was 18, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen. Everyone goes and dresses up. But the same as what Steve touched on, like being rowdy and stuff. You jump in and everyone's in these dress-ups and you're watching some of the best go about it.
It's crazy.
Michael Van Gogh and Phil Taylor, like the Wizard of Oz is there, and someone hits a 180 and the crowd just erupts, and it is like you don't end up watching much darts, but you end up hearing like 100.
Do it.
100. That's how he does that, like.
It's hilarious.
He does the maths that quick, and he's just sitting there.
Everyone
and
in
loves
the crowd
it.
looks like they're getting sloshed.
It's unbelievable. It is a very,
I've never been to darts.
They did it once in Melbourne, and someone started throwing chairs, and it got ugly
yeah,
for
it's
a bit.
rowdy.
So.
It's rowdy. Nah, well said. I don't think we've had the darts. So that's good by you. Let's. The next question I got for you boys is: who is the coolest athlete you've ever met? And explain the moment you met them and how you met them. We want detail here at Only Sport.
Coolest athlete. Oh.
Start with you, Steve.
Yeah, I was probably Kyle Chalmers. He's freestyle champion for Australia and one of the best blokes I've met. So I went to Bali on an off-season trip 2 years ago, and I got a message from Kyle just on Instagram saying, "Hey mate, I'm coming to Bali too. Do you want to catch up for a beer?" And had never spoken to him before, nothing. And I was like, yeah, all right. So about 4 or 5 days into the trip, went and met up with him, ended up having a big night, may have come off a scooter, all this sort of stuff. And we've kept in contact ever since. And I'm actually going over to Adelaide for this New Year's to see him and spend New Year's with him. So
that's awesome.
He doesn't really feel like a big star, but I think in retrospect, he actually is massive.
Yeah, he is, and especially in that sport to win gold in what he's done is crazy. Yeah, well said.
And one of the best people.
And a great person makes it awesome.
So down to earth and humble.
Love that. What about you, Griff? Who's the coolest person you've met in your time?
Met a couple cool
We'll reel them off.
Most recently actually, and to see how he's taken off now, probably Lou Headley from just got signed by the New Orleans Saints as the key punter there. He took us around. He's mates with Butter Nath Wilson, so he made me message him and butter him up a bit when we were in Miami a couple of years ago.
The Merrimandra Greyhounds as well.
Nash Wills, so still got the sore soot. So he told me the message, Lou, and to his credit, showed us around the facilities in at Miami U, and then that was before he'd been picked up as well by New Orleans, and then obviously dominating now. So he's
so cool.
Getting the chance to get a few.
You have
punts
to go
in.
see him in action next off season and take Steve-O with you, because Steve-O is a massive
Saints fan,
massive Saints man. I'm just loading my phone. You know when your phone, I've got me questions here, and this is why you're probably wondering, but you know when your phone just turns off like on low power mode, it's hurting me. So if anyone knows how to get that off, that'd be fantastic. But we've got a few more here, boys. Now this one's about If you could be anyone in the sporting world right now for a week, just 1 week, who would it be and what would you love to do?
Anyone in the sporting world right now?
You get to just jump in their body and be them.
I'd be Tyson Fury.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
World heavyweight boxing champion of the world. You'd know that you could stand in front of anyone in a ring with gloves on and most likely knock him out. But more so just the way he lives his life, like a gypsy. He just like runs around, just funny voice, funny family, just.
You'd love to live that lifestyle for a week?
Just for a week, like, just for a week. Just,
there you go.
You just hear stories like he talks about AJ Brown, what's his name? Anthony Joshua, about how he dominates and how he's, he's like built in a lab and how he does all this training, and then Tyson Fury comes off and he's like, for breakfast I had 17 pints, and then just comes in and dominates everyone that's put in front of him, like most unassuming, and it's a great story how he's came in, had the highs of the highs, lows of the lows, and now he's back at the top. So a week in his shoes would be, it'd be great.
There you go. Big Fury. I wouldn't have picked that from you. What about you, Steve-O?
I'm going to go down a similar path in the big fellas. I'm going to go John Daly. John Daly, the golfer, mate. He is just.
That's the golfer. Yeah.
He's an extraordinary athlete. Like, to be as good as he was and have the diet and regime that he did, incredible. And even to.
So you'd want to be him right now?
I saw him on Instagram. Last night he's at a party with Future, Neo, all these rappers, and he's just sitting there in his colourful pants, big white beard, having a beer, and he probably was having a dart too, which I wouldn't want to do, but yeah, he seems like he'd be a great person.
They're awesome athletes.
Wouldn't mind his bankroll on the slots machines as well. I heard he used to do like $10,000 slaps or something.
Oh, he'd be slapping whatever he wants. They make that much money. He'd just go, right, I'll get it back next week at a tournament. And he still slaps that ball around as good as anyone.
He's amazing. Yeah, I think he'd be great just one day. Like I said, he had fun last night by the looks of it, so good on him.
He has fun every day. So Tyson Fury for Griffin Logue and John Daly for Jaidyn Stephenson. There you go. That's two new. I don't think we'll get them again. I love the way you
two
boys.
Two blokes that are just the pinnacle of peak performance. You just look at him and go, that is peak athletic performance.
If you could create your own TV show, so we have to organise a pilot episode. Remember, pilot, head to pilot.com.au for all your men's health needs. You have to do a pilot episode for a brand new TV show, and you have to pick one sporting event in the world to film it at. What event would you love to film that at? And why?
There's so many you could go to, and I think the Super Bowl would be an easy answer.
Super Bowl, like something like a big golf.
I'd probably go the Tour de France.
Nice.
Yeah, I just have been captivated by it. I watched the Netflix documentary. Didn't realise how much of a team sport it was, and actually listened to a podcast yesterday. Matt Keenan, who's like the head commentator for it for all English-speaking countries. So I think it'd be an awesome spot to film. You get some nice scenery, you get the cobblestones there, and I don't know, I'm sure there's a few French guys that have troubles getting it up too.
I reckon they do struggle getting up the hill, some of those boys. They need to hit the pole and they can maximise their performance. What about you, Griff?
So what is it? You make your own TV show where?
So essentially, you're going to be on TV, and they go, Griff, we want you to go get a pilot episode. We're going to send you anywhere in the world. Where do you want to be to create this episode? What event do you think would be the craziest episode you could create? Think about Getaway with Jules Lung back in the day. You know what I mean? But it's like
a
sport.
UFC main event with like your biggest,
like McGregor's next fight.
McGregor, Johnny Bones Jones, Volk. Like imagine seeing Volk and. Yeah, a couple of title fights around there. Maybe do it at the Sphere in Vegas.
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking.
It's just in terms of pure performance and like spectacle, entertainment. Anyone that's not a fight fan, like you'd still go on, like you'd still watch it.
One episode doco at the Sphere. UFC,
I reckon it'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
with some big names on the card.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the way you boys are thinking. You're really mixing it up. Well, I didn't pick this being NFL fans, and I'm loving it because you're giving unique answers. Which we love. Righto, here's a great discussion. Who is the GOAT, in your opinion, Steve-O?
Tiger Woods. There's no one that has been as dominant in their chosen sport. Maybe a Wilt Chamberlain in basketball, but I think the play was a little bit unfair.
Griff's looking at me like...
But Tiger Woods, mate, he was winning majors by 12, 13 shots, which is just unheard of. We don't see it at all at the moment. I don't think we ever will in the future. He was the GOAT.
It's a big question.
Griff, who is the GOAT?
It's a big question. Well, I've got two. One's Tom Brady. What he's been able to do, whether or not, I don't know. I don't know enough about NFL, how much really comes into it. Like, he could just have had the best defensive lines of all time, and that give him that much time in the slot.
He's playing in a sport that only really Americans play, though. How can you be the greatest of all time as a sportsman? Tiger Woods has had to beat every single person in the world. Yeah. And he's just first.
Right. Okay, scratch him. Sorry, Brady. Not enough, brother. Bron James has to, like, you watch him now, and for a while, like, I was like, oh, get off King, like, washed King, all this stuff. And he's 39 years old, and he's going around and doing what he's doing. I just think it's a pretty typical one. Like, actually, take it back. Johnny Jones.
So you've just jumped around.
Yeah, I've jumped 3 sports, but
he's jumped around three times from
Well,
Brady
he didn't let
to
me,
LeBron,
he didn't let
and
me
now
Brady.
you've gone with John
He didn't let me
Jones.
Brady, and then I went with King James, which he will always be the king. All right, he won't be he's not the John Bones Jones.
He's the greatest of all time.
He's the greatest of all time, I believe. Done.
Love it.
I
think ultimately, probably, I do say Tiger, but I think it should come from maybe a soccer player. I don't know my soccer players too well, but like a Messi or someone.
Hey, I love the opinions. There's no doubt soccer fans are burning at you
pure
boys right now.
To be the GOAT sportsman of all time, you have to have beaten the best.
Right.
And soccer, I think, would be the most played sport in the world. So for him to be the best out of the most numbers, he's possibly up there too.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. You boys are, I can't wait to clip these up, and everyone in the comments is going to be coming for Griff, I reckon. You think John Jones is the greatest of all time? I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying.
In his field, he's the baddest man on the planet.
No, we're talking the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time. All right. And not everything comes down.
sport.
Not everything
In
comes
sport,
down to fight.
we're talking about
the greatest
sport.
of all time. If we go back in time from the Stone Age, number one thing people did was fight, and you put him in front of anyone, no one can beat him ever.
Oh,
Marcus Aurelius from Gladiator, he'd be up there too then, if that's your theory.
Johnny Bones Jones would fucking smash him. Hand-to-hand combat. Give him a few Spartans to take on as well, and John Bones smash him.
Righto, boys. You don't come on here and go home empty-handed. RIXX Eyewear. This is you, everyone, for summer, but we've got you sorted. Obviously, summer around the corner at RIXX Eyewear. We have brand new sunnies. I've got the Venice gold medal frames here for you, Steve-O. I reckon that'll be suiting you. Entertaining everyone on the course.
Golf course in South Australia with Charmers. You'll bloody love it.
And I got, that's for you and Charmy.
They're amazing. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. That is
Hello, John Daly.
Hello,
mate.
John. Hello, Johnny boy. And the Melrose Dark Storm green polarized lens for you, Griff.
Green lens on it.
I know you love your Melrose, mate. So
dude, the only things that fit my big schnoz.
the big beak boys.
Thanks, Jerry. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. And again, guys, Aces at discount code for RIXX, and you get 20% off and free express shipping. Leave them on for me, Griff, for a second while I ask you this question. This one is lunch for 3. Must cut 1, keep 2. These are the names: David Beckham, Michael Jordan, and Tom Brady. Who are you having lunch with out of those 3? Start with you, Steve-O. Pick your 2.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's definitely coming. It's a toss-up between Becks and Brady, but I'll cut Brady. Yeah, I just think, listen to a few of his inspirational speeches lately, and as much as he's inspirational, I'm not sure he'd be great for the banter and the comedy, so I'm going to leave him out.
Okay, you're going for more, again, entertainment.
Entertainment. So, yeah,
You want
Michael Jordan and
stories.
David Beckham. I want stories and good times.
Love it. Griff?
Yeah, I'd have
Keep
to,
him on, son. Keep him on.
Sorry, brother. Jordan's staying. MJ, he's staying. I reckon I'm the same. I don't know how much more Brady could offer in. If you want to reach out, Tom, it's fine. But I don't know how much more he could really offer in a conversation at dinner. I just think I just recently watched that Beckham doco, and that's stuff I didn't even know about. So not that I know everything about Tom, first name basis. Not that I know everything about MJ. That's what I'd love to pick his brains. But if I get there, sit Bex down, ask him about all that stuff that he went through. Get Michael Jordan,
So
get a few dentists. I know I called him the GOAT. No,
You
he's
just
not,
said Tom Brady's the GOAT. Now you're not inviting him to you.
We're picking him apart, aren't we?
Mate, fuck him. He's not coming. MJ, a few Rodman stories. That'll do me. And yeah,
Here's another one. Would you cut another one so you can have one-on-one, or would you prefer 2?
it'd be a weird dynamic. Beckham and Michael Jordan, but
Do you think?
I'd take both. Yeah, definitely both.
if you can, yeah. You can have both. Why not?
Okay, what's the first question you're asking MJ? Just one?
Do you want to be just
Yep.
got to start it off well and
Yep.
get friendly with them?
Can I have a photo?
Straight off the top,
No
can I
way.
get a photo?
No way. No,
That's
no.
great.
Just like, I don't know. Ask him.
First in-depth question.
Ask him if he wants a cigar or something. He loves those.
How are we,
He loves
boys?
it. He loves those fucking things.
That'd be tough. I'd hope they'd initiate it, hopefully.
Yeah, you'd be pretty nervous.
I'd have
know-
just been a fly on the wall just for those two having a chat, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's very good. Well, there you go. RIXX Eyewear, lunch for 3, cutting 1. Griff's cut his goat almost off. He reckons he's boring, but he's the greatest of all time. They've also got hats, lads. I know Griff doesn't want one, but Steve-O, that's yours. If you want a hat, head to RIXX online, RIXXeyewear.com, that is. Boys, thank you so much. That's episode 3 of Only Sport. We've dived into a little bit of your careers. We've also dived into being fans, big NFL fans, but big sports fans. Really appreciate your honest conversations and tips and advice for everyone out there. As always, all the best with the pre-season and the season coming up in 2024. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for your support. As I said, Only Sport, new concept where we break down all sports as these athletes go on their journey or have already been on their journey. And there's only 12 episodes, and that is number 3. So 3 in the bank. We hope you enjoyed that one. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you next week on Only Sport. One more time, because I really mean it. I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support you continue to give us at the American Aces. If you want to further support us, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the follow button so you can keep up to date with all our exciting shows and announcements. Righto, now it's time to give our sponsors a massive plug. Struggling to make it to third base before striking out? Wood not driving like it used to? Let me guess, tackle's gone a little bit soft? No stress. If you're having issues in the bedroom, like erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, Australia's favourite men's healthcare provider, Pilot, has all the clinical tools you need to get your game back on track. Thousands of Aussie men come to Pilot to get simple, discreet and clinical treatments online. Pilot has free shipping, auto refills and free follow-ups over text with practitioners. Get started today at pilot.com.au and remember, play hard until the final whistle with Pilot. Aces, I know I always talk about the RIXXs, but I gotta offer you the discount again. In case you've forgotten or in case you're sleeping under a rock, we have a special discount code for everyone that listens to this podcast or watch the podcast. It's ACES. Head online to RIXXeyewear.com.au and use the discount code ACES and you'll get 20% off. That's right, 20% off, 1/5 at checkout and free express shipping. So head online, RIXXeyewear.com.au and check it out.